Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. Well, today we're going to do a project, and the project involves this ice cooler, this transmission cooler, a fan, and some other parts. Right now, what we're experiencing, this is coming up to mid and latter part of the summer, and so right now this weekend and today we're expecting mid 80s and then into the 90s this weekend. And so HVAC systems, heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems are very antiquated. Even though there's a lot of efficiencies built into the newer ones, there's a lot of inefficiencies on the older ones. And so as we move forward into the future, we're looking at saving energy rather than wasting it. And so we're making a system that is much more simplistic. It'll operate year-round. It'll cool in the summer, heat in the winter, and operate with mostly under 150 watts, except for in the winter when you employ the water temperature, the heater. And so when you use the heater, it's an additional 1,300 watts. So all in all, it's going to be an under 1,500 watt system that's going to be put in place. And so this makes it very efficient. It's going to run on the our solar system completely and without any worries. And it will also, because of the low drainage, it'll operate all night long. And so a person in a tiny home, or even in a home of under 1,000 square feet, will be able to heat and cool their unit very efficiently and effectively. And so what we have is the transmission cooler. Has 3/8 hose, so that what we're going to do, this is going to be converted into a holding tank, an insulated holding tank. It'll keep cold in the summer and it'll stay hot during the winter, and cycle very few times. It'll only cycle when it's necessary to bring the water back up to temperature as the water cools from the heat exchanger here. Also, we have a fan that we're going to be installing, and this is going to get mounted onto the heat exchanger. We have a small pump that we're going to be using. We're going to install this inside of the cooler, and so this is the pump. It's a little teeny tiny thing, as you see. Operates 12 volts and uses only 8 watts. Very, very efficient here. Low energy, very eco-friendly, and what we're doing, we're reusing everything for maximum efficiency. So we have the hose, which will attach everything, and then we even have a switch. And then what's interesting and unique about this switch, as you see, it's a dual switch. It's a dimmer. This one will regulate this fan, high, low, and medium. And then right here, this switch will turn on the pump and regulate the speed of the pump. So we could normally keep the pump going at full volume, and that's approximately 1 gallon, a little better than 1 gallon an hour, or not an hour, a minute. So there's plenty of water flow with the pump. Everything is very cost effective. Probably the most expensive items here was the transmission cooler heat exchanger, which this was $25. And then we have the fan. This was another $24. So you see that the cost is going to be substantially lower than your typical home type of HVAC system. And this is going to be much more efficient. It's not going to be wasting heat and energy like a home system. Home system, you have your gas systems, which heat the heat exchanger to create the heat for your home. So there's a tremendous amount of natural gas that's used, or oil, depending on where you're at in the country. And this is clean, green, energy, efficient use of energy, and we're getting heat and air conditioning on a very simple unit that is going to cost under $250 total. And that, I give a $250 budget, but what I have invested into this, the cooler, we're looking at about $30 from the store. Another $50, a little better than $50, $60 for a lot of the components, all the other components to make up this project. We're sitting at about $100. So we're very cost effective on this. And then once, I still have to go get a few more materials, some polyurethane, also some fasteners, and to make everything. And then everything's going to run off 14 gauge wire. So this is the wiring that we're going to use to power everything. I also have to get a box to contain the electrics so that it's waterproof and nothing shorts out. Also put a fuse protection system on there. So still a few more things to put together, and then I'll be assembling this. I'm going to do a video so that you can see the assembly in a condensed version. We're going to do a time lapse on the assembly for you so that you can see how easy it goes together. Then we're going to actually run the system so that you can see the operation, and then we're going to take temperature readings to see what kind of air temperatures we get with the warmer days. Anything that's going to be substantially cooler than the ambient temperature is going to be feeling very nice. And so we're going to be putting this together, test it right here for you, and we're going to be incorporating these into the tiny homes that we're putting together around Oakland. So this is the whole HVAC system for the new tiny homes. This is one of the options that we're employing into those. Very cost effective, energy effective, and eco-friendly. So we'll be right back.